So there's code on screen. Pause if you want to look at it, although you have to pause again because I will be scrolling down in a moment anyway to show you the bigger part of the code. But something to highlight here is that yes, I was not here in this code again because the ally that I'm using in this video was an ally I used before, and that one used this string comma. But I did use basically I'm forgetting the vocabulary for the moment, but basically yes, I use a string variable to call upon commas. That way I don't have to think as much, or I can just replace through an eto file. And the only other thing to mention is that this shortened weapon eto file, this is literally what's all that's happening. As I'll show you right now, this is the basically what I've done to have different messages appear, but basically based on RNG. But more importantly, I did spaghetti recording because I thought that I was not doing the deal damage right, and I was dealing damage twice. Apparently that's not the case, unless I'm missing something here. But please let me know if there is something. Also, I did not spread this out properly. But yeah, so this is all basically the code more than doubled because I wanted to use different message logs. But pause if we need to look at it. I'll take it down in a few seconds. The only other thing to mention is that I did try to... there are other ways to implement what you're seeing on screen. I could basically attach a variable to the message that I want to use, but either way, I'm going to have to RNG some kind of message. It's just that you can handle it in a different way, which does help out with, say, if you want to use different eto files. That way another eto file does not look as inflated. Also, Zekta's Magical History, which is a far cry from my failed recording, which is a lot easier. But let's find out, because the only other thing to mention before the timestamp, I'll mention it afterward as well, is that this character was made in 2024. So we have two versions of the character. And I think one's on Discord and the other one is on Steam Workshop only, question mark? So I forgot what my backstory is. I'm just going to say it was Knight Errant. It was not Knight Errant, but I know I was on Zektas. So for timestamp's sake, as we get into Zektas Knight Errant custom character once more, we need at least 3 ZST to survive this run, which won't be a problem as much of a problem because we start with a weapon and or we also have combat capabilities with the bonus damage from this chainsaw here. So, yeah, off we go. Dexterity, second mystery, charisma. I won't mention other things, but talk chase on knowledge and maybe a second encounter check, but I'm not remembering everything at the moment, so hey. Even during my failed recording, also this is still a typo. This should be 10% chance, but that's just a message. Gameplay-wise, it works perfectly fine. But one primary reason we're basically playing this twice is that I want to usually showcase something twice, but gameplay-wise, we want to see more situations. Now, I could just theoretically look at think about different situations that we're in, but it helps to just go through it. That way, we have at least on-hands evidence. Botanist, Household Hell, Vigil, Handkerchief, and Pupils. So this is kind of a chill run. Not really much is happening here. We'll take Botanist first because of out-of-town shenanigans, or not out-of-town, blah, 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 roads closed shenanigans, but we won't prepare. We're just going to walk for it, actually. So, keeping in mind that we are on what can be a pretty bad backstory god combination, Zektas decreasing your stats by every 21% doom. That's the sound of my chair, by the way, so if you hear that, that's what it is. But as we fail because stats don't matter, hold on, let's do police station first. Village, I guess. Sure, why not? Yeah, Zektas on top of Knight Errant means that doom can quickly spiral up, and if you need to level up quickly to increase your stats like I do, then yeah, the fact that both Zektas and Knight Errant are working together to oof you can be a bit of a problem. So hey, stats still don't matter, but again, that's just that's not the cherry on top. It's worse than that. It's like the second and third layer of a cake right on top of my face. So we're not even gonna gamble on charisma, and off we go. Why is this chair beneath me creaking so badly? It's not even old or anything. It's just literally creaking. Maybe I'm too heavy. I am heavier than I should be, basically. But, anywho. So, something to mention here is that, okay, just keeping an eye on how much damage we do here. Although, I really should just go for a kick instead. But we did 11 damage, so looking at that, yeah, this is right. So 6 damage because 4 times, or 50%, 150% of 4 is 6 damage, and then the extra 5 bonus damage, which again is a lot. Something that I did want to mention that I remember now, that I did mention before, so I actually didn't forget, is that with the strong attacks, or when you get bonus damage, you're usually not getting more than 2 or 3 per attack. That's important to note, as we actually find that in that one, is because the 16 HP, 20 HP threshold for most enemies is very important to note as you are looking for any sources of bonus damage, or maybe double damage if you're doing desperate attacks, but that's another topic. This topic is about basically, yeah, again, if your attacks do an extra 2-3 bonus damage, note that they happen each time you attack. So normally you get 2 attacks. If you can fit 2 normal attacks that have like 2 or 3 bonus damage, you're dealing quite a bit of damage. And a common example is, say you're using a 4 damage weapon and you do prep attack, you get 8 damage. If each of those attacks had 2 bonus damage, you're doing 12 damage per turn now. And as I just mentioned, the thresholds for enemies, most enemies don't have more than like 20-24 HP, so that's why around the 16-20 HP threshold is where if you can deal 8 damage per turn, basically, you're usually okay. If you can deal 10 to 12 damage per turn, you're doing great. So, we're gonna use this for funds because we don't have funds, so off we go. Keeping in mind we have the inspiring novel, but again, to rewind all the way back to what I wanted to mention is that, yeah, if a character normally gets 2 or 3 bonus damage and they can deal at least 6 to 8, or they can do 2 attacks that deal 3 or 4 damage per turn, it's a lot. And to make that even shorter, if a character gets 2 to 3 bonus damage on most of their runs, they're a pretty good character. Now, there are other aspects to a run, like event RNG and whatnot, and how well they do in events. And there's actually a few things to mention there, not just how high their stats are and therefore they succeed. Also, no ghosts, no pain. But are we gonna level up in time? We might not actually level up in time, I just realized. So we do want to do this vigil properly. Why am I even looking at that? I don't need to look at that anymore. But anyway, or did I do it? Did I do it? I'm not actually sure now. Keeping in mind that we're on Knight Errant, so we do need to level up before the end of the mystery. Actually, we could fight the old man. It just depends on how much doom we get. So, as we take our stamina damage here, again, to restate one more time, just in case I didn't say it clearly, if a character or any character that's made gets 2 to 3 bonus damage per turn, per attack, that is very powerful. And what I wanted to mention afterward, before I was cut off by myself, is that, yeah, event RNG exists, but it's not just your stats. You can, a common example that I like to use is Toshiaki. Toshiaki is a very low stat, usually low combat capable character. Yes, he has the notes, but bear with me for a moment. But he has Doom to spare, so even if he fails a bunch of events, he can rest, so on and so forth. So, as we end this mystery, we need to defeat this old man before... Can we even do that? I guess we're gonna find out. I should have popped the inspiring novel then, I guess. Yeah, I just realized we're in a bit of trouble. I don't think I can one-shot this old man, so we're gonna do our best. I don't think we can, though. We're just gonna have to try to dodge, though. We do get the hit. When we did dodge. So the next question becomes, can we one-shot this? No, we cannot. I can brace, but then we can't do a strong attack either. So we run into an issue having to dodge again. Well, I guess this is going to be a short video then. Well, things. Okay, we actually did dodge again. Can I do a thing? 11 damage. Oof. We can throw the Karakasa mask, but I don't think we get more. Yeah, we're barely off just by a bit. That makes me a little sad. Do we have an ally we can toss? We do. Actually, if I toss this ally, funny enough, I think they do like super damage. Yeah. So, yeah, fine, just to survive, I guess. But anyway, as we move on here, yeah. Again, I really should like add a penalty, but to disclaimer, the ally and whatnot, the ally that you saw also pain, but the ally that you just saw, and as well as the weapon that we're using on this character right now, are not available anywhere on the internet. So don't go looking for them. You won't be able to play them if you really want to play them. But anywho, I don't know what I want to choose. Household Hell. I guess we'll try to lower Doom. I am actually going to visit the monument once. And basically, on a separate note, just to mention, if you have an ally that does what I just did, or when you let go of the ally, they full heal you, that is also very powerful. That is not... You should add a downside. This character currently doesn't have a lot of... Well, this version of this character His downside is that he has lower stats, but I think the version I played previous has like +6 to overall stats, so that's quite powerful. That's not the stat I needed, Zectast, but you know what? You do you, right? We have an extra 21% Doom afterward. The problem is, are we going to be able to level up beforehand? So, yeah, we do our best. We have to fight, though, because I need the experience. But, yeah, this is basically as it should be, I feel, most of the time. Why does stats matter? This version of this character, however, has 12 luck. So you know what? All things considered, even though luck is, I believe it's, I believe. Let me restate. Let me re-pronunciate that. I believe luck, objectively, is weaker than most of the stats. Maybe like it's okay next to perception or knowledge, but. And actually, I don't even agree with knowledge. Probably just perception, because admittedly, not a lot of people use perception, so hey. Also, going for ending A here, just to rewind back to base strats on World of 4. Yeah, it's... basically, there are some mysteries where usually, especially on Harbinger of Doom difficulty, it is worse to go for ending A than it is to just take the Doom penalty. That's there you go. That's Knight Errant in 2 sentences. So... we don't have a single spell to our name, and yeah, we just continue onward. Now, we need the knowledge perk when we level up, otherwise we will 0 stat. We can monument as much as we can, but I promise you it won't matter. So, as we run into another enemy here that is trying to doom us out, is this a one-shot? I don't think it's a one-shot. It's unfortunately not a one-shot, so we actually have to brace here. We're gonna gamble on this attack. Please, 82%. Okay, good. And prep attack, and we hope to hit this as well. Okay, good. Now, the next issue... Okay, I might have to just sit here and reroll once. Yeah, I have to reroll once. Because we also could just get the perception perk as well. But the game doesn't want to give us that. So... shrug, I guess. That we die. This is a very powerful setup, by the way. Let me just restate that. It's very powerful to have a weapon that you start with, but 2, you just happen to get extra damage, or you can defeat enemies basically a lot easier. But again, that is only one part, although combat is a very large part of World of Horror. At least in my opinion. But as we end this run on death, yeah, not really much else we can say. In fact, I think I just picked a decision and just died. So, never mind, painkillers. And we do have the corpse dust, but I don't know if that's going to save us. Oh no, our luck dropped to 10. Yeah, none of these are actually helping, so off we go. Now, this contrasts with the recent Zectast run I did a few episodes ago. So as we doom out here, where Zectast gave us all the stats we needed and then some. So, I mean, shrug, right? Goes to show. Things can happen. But yeah, without further ado, not really much else to say. If there was something to fix on this run, I don't actually know if there was anything, because it's not like we got... Literally was all up to RNG. The RNG of just events, not increasing our doom. There are a couple of decisions, but the larger part was the events and then the level up perks that we got, because we really needed the perception increase or the knowledge increase, and then I would have increased another stat!